Okay, so we're up to Siman Kuf Nun Hey, new Siman, very, very interesting Siman. Leilech and Beis HaKnesses leBeis HaMedrash. The person, after he finishes davening, he should go off to the Beis HaMedrash. Says the Mechaba, so we finished, the last Siman was a long Siman, was Hilchas Beis HaKnesses. So now the guy's daven, the person's daven, he goes off to learn a bit in the morning. Says the Mishnah Berurah, says the Mechaba, Acha sheyotza meBeis HaKnesses, after a person has left shul for Shacharis, Yelech leBeis HaMedrash v'yikba eis lilmod. He should be Kovea a time to learn. V'tzorech sha'is eis yeh kovua. It should be fixed. Shelo yavirenu af im husav l'harviach harbe. And he shouldn't shift that time of learning, even if it means he's going to miss out on a lot of profit. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sifkat Aleph. Yelech leBeis HaMedrash. The Isva Gemara, the Gemara says, Hayetz meBeis HaKnesses v'nichnas leBeis HaMedrash v'oisik b'Torah. Person goes from shul to a Beis HaMedrash, Zoicha mekabel pnei hashchina shnema yelchu min choyel l'choyel yeroel alekim b'tzion. V'hinei, bizmanom hoya Beis HaKnesses miyuch l'tfilah, or Beis HaMedrash miyuch l'Torah l'chud. There were two separate places. There was the shul and there was the Beis HaMedrash. Hoyedarkim nispal Beis HaKnesses, and the derech was you would daven in the shul. Even though nowadays we daven in the Beis HaMedrash, Mikol Mokum, they're sort of interchangeable. Mikol Mokum Shaykh Gam Kein Dovazeh. This concept still exists. The Acha Tefillah Yelech LeHischabe Manoshim Oiskim B'Torah Mishnayos V'Chodema. That after davening, one should go and join a group of people who are learning Mishnayos or whatever it is. V'Nema Olav Hakosov Yelchu Michael El Choyel, etc. V'Yikbat the Isbe Gemara Sifkat and Beis. When a person goes to din after 120, they ask him, Kovato Itim la Torah. Why are you Kovea Itim la Torah? And you should be Kovea this time, straight after davening, Mishum Yelchu Mechoil El Choyel. That's the idea of the pasuk, V'chanal, like we just said. And so too, if you go Mikoidim Lasok, if you go first to work, then a person can get drawn into work, and therefore you'll be mevatel. Sif Katan Gimel Limoid. Chayiv Otam Lilmoid. A person is obligated to learn B'chol Yom Torah Shebichsav Shehu Tanach or Mishnah or Gemara Poskim. Every day a person has got a chiyuv to learn Tanakh, Mishnah, Gemara Poskim. Or Balabatim She'enim Loimdim Rak Shalosh Arba Shos B'Yom. A very sobering line. This is based on the line in the Ramah in Hilchas Talmud Torah that Balabatim, who unfortunately can only learn 3 or 4 hours a day. I think that is mechayev all of us. Lo yilmadu b'gemara lechud. They shouldn't just learn Gemara. To b'zei neyotze elitzarich sheyilmad dafka gam sifrei poskim. That a person also has to learn halacha poskim. Kol echod kafi hasogosei. If you take a look at number 3 and 4, some interesting ha'aras. He says makar din zeh, where Eliyahu we're up to Siman Kuf Nun Hey Aleph. Yeah, the Makar says, he says in footnote 3, Makar din zeh hu b'gemara, the Gemara in Kiddushin, the Issa Shom, la'elam mishalesh adam shneisov. A person's got to divide his years into 3, shlish b'mikra, shlish b'mishnah, shlish b'talmud. And the Gemara explains over there that a person's got to divide each day. Shetzorech adam l'shalesh es limudei b'chol yom v'yom. And it's brought in Yerodei and Reishma involves Sif Dalet. Now the Ramah, and bringing Tosis over there, says that Rabbeinu Tam, that Yotzim Yedei Chova B'Limud Gemara, that even though really you should split your learning into 3 ways, into a third into Tanakh, and a third into Mishnah, and then a third into Gemara, he says nowadays we can fulfill our obligation by learning Gemara, because Talmud is bolel b'mikra, Mishnah, and Talmud. It's all included in that. And you learn Gemara, you've got Psukim, you've got Mishnayos, you've got Gemara, it's all included in that. Okay. Now, he says in footnote number 4, also an interesting ha'ara, with a Shabbos, when people are not so tired, shepnuim melacha, we're not working, kolsav haramod lakamon, shepoilim ubalabatim she'enim moiskim b'Torah kol yimei hashvua. They're busy throughout the week. Yasku b'Torah b'Shabbos yosim mitamdei chachamim ha'iskim b'Torah kol yimei hashvua. They've got an obligation to learn more Torah than tamdei chachamim, who are in any event learning the whole week. The Mishnah Berurah Sham b'shem ha'Yerushalmi she'enim Shabbos yom tovim. The Yerushalmi says that Shabbos and Yom Tov were given to Klal Yisrael in order to learn Torah. All week round they're so busy with work. You have more opportunity to learn. Okay, Dalet. So we're at the beginning of Eli, in Kuf Nun Hey, the beginning there. We said that after a person daven Shacharis, Yelech leBeis HaMedrash v'yikba eis lilmod. It says in the Mishnah Berurah Sifkat and Dalet, shelo yavirona. A person shouldn't push off that time to learn. even if it's going to lose out on a lot of profit. The actual scope of the mitzvah hasn't got a time, hasn't got a limit. And really an obligation to learn is the entire day. Whenever he's got time. And if a person has time and doesn't learn, like the Gemara says in Sanhedrin, that he's sort of disparaging the word of Hashem. That's referring to someone who could learn and doesn't. The Gemara says in Yerushalmi, Itim. A person has got time to learn and doesn't. Bris. It's as if he's sort of annulling the bris. The idea of being Kovea Itim la Torah is a person has got to have a fixed time to learn every single day. That a person shouldn't shift and leave this time of learning. And if a person has something which he cannot help, he couldn't do his learning that day. He's got to make it up at night time to repay that debt, as it were. Because like the Gemara says in Erevin Samachay, Rav Acha bar Yaakov Yosef b'yom par b'laylo. He borrows it then, he makes it up, and he pays back at night. For Kosva Achronim, Shaloilam Kodim Sheyetzim Beis Hamedrash Shacharis Afilim Eira Le'oines Sheyochel Lumod B'Kviyas Yilmod Al Kol Ponim Pasuk Echad Halacha Achas. You can't have your regular Kviyas, at least a Mishnah Halacha, something one should learn. Larviach Harbe, even if it means foregoing on a big profit. Says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Hey, Ve'ish kazehu mibali amona, and that is a display of tremendous emunah. Shemamin u'b'teach b'Hashem shelo yechzel le'mezonos v'alidei, that ultimately HaKadosh Baruch Hu won't let you lose out by you being keeping to your starim. U'chedis b'Yerushalmi in Seita Peites. My anshe amona. What does it mean anshe amona? Ka'adod ha'v'tzvochin al-programmatia pirush she'yitzakin ha'kelim she'yavim Shacharis limkar. They're saying, come, please, we want to buy your stuff. The Carbonate explains, I'm not leaving my time to learn Torah because of profit. If I'm going to get profit, I'll make the profit. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give me my profit at the time that he sees right. Okay, that's the Mechaber. Says the Ramah, even a person does not know how to learn, at least he should go to the Beis Medrash. He'll have the schar halicha. He might not have the schar limud, but have the schar halicha. Or find a place where you can learn according to your ability. And a person should work it out, and that you could get Yiras Shamayim. Says the Mishnah Berurah, if you've got involved, go to a place where they are learning. Even if you don't fully understand what they're learning, just being in a Beis HaMedrash mitzvahi. And certainly if you understand what's going on, and that counts as limud. In Rabbi Pashas Kisaveh. Amr B'Shua, Amr of Nachman. Call me Shebala Beis HaKnesses for Shemei Divrei Torah. Anyone who comes to Beis HaMedrash and he learns Torah, Zoche Leishe Ben HaChachom L'Asid Lava. He'll be Zoche L'Asid Lava to sit amongst the Chachomim. Shenema Oizin Shemas Tchachas Chaim Bekerev Chachomim Tolin. If you can't go to Beis HaMedrash, find a place to sit and learn. Who inyan b'pnei atzmai v'arish hasif koi. The tzarich adam likbar Torah Beis HaMedrash v'sham yeh le'makom kavur l'Torah v'tzarich lema v'yigba le'makom. So if you can't be in a Beis HaMedrash, you got to find some other place where you can be kaveh makom. V'yilmat. Now, Lefi Rehitas Lashon HaRamah, says the Mishnah Berurah Sif Katan Ches v'megumgum. Ta'alu mari b'tchilas ba'adam she'en yedeh klal limud she'en el schar halicha. We're talking about a person who hasn't got the ability to learn, but he's got at least schar halicha for going to the Beis HaMedrash. Ha'emes k'moshe kosavnu mitchilah dekoya kol harish hasif. It's going on the beginning of the sif. V'komash melon afilu mishiyadeh limudrak ma'at. Even if someone has the ability to learn even a little bit, afilu hochi yigbal le'makom Beis HaMedrash lilmud b'mashiyadeh. He should be kaveh makom to learn what he can. This is where the Ramah gets it from, the Rabbeinu Yonah. Even if somebody can only learn a little bit, he should be kaveh what he can. klal limon, if he hasn't got the ability to learn at all, then just go and sit in the base of medrash. Now, if a person only learns a little bit, interesting. You've only got a little time to learn. Then be kovea, dirshu, learn halachas. That he would know what to do lemaisa. Interesting, in note 15, on the next page, he says, "Ubelimud hashulchan aruch kosev le'el in the Hagdama in the Mishnah Berurah in Chelik Aleph, sheyesh lahadif lahagdim es limud chelik Orach. There are 4 chalakim in Shulchan Aruch, but you should put priority into the first chelik in Orach, she'idyosa hechrechis li'kiyum ater b'chol yom miyomi chayodam, because that's most prevalent daily halachas. Ubiladov lo yorim ish Yisrael es yodei. That's right, you can't move without it. So the priority has to be in Orach. Interesting. V'chanal. Continuing the Mishnah Berurah, v'amru chachamim zal al pasuk Eyav Hashem Shacharis Tzion mikol mishknes Yaakov, Eyav Hashem Shacharim Matzion b'halacha, Yosef mikol batzik knesiyas, v'gam amru kol hashena halachas b'chol yom. Anyone who learns halacha every single day, muftuch lo shel ben olam haba. He's guaranteed to be in ben olam haba. V'mein mevin b'halachas. If you understand halachas, yilman mashayim. You learn what you can learn. The ko'es bizmanenu yesh kama sfarim b'marei Chazal ma'atikim aloshen Ashkenaz, which means in the Yiddish or in German, but now in the days of course it means in English. There is always what to learn. The yachshav be'enov pirush yira v'yivdok b'shivta k'tzas ponui b'beis hamedrashim yesh sad aveira b'masamatzan sheloi gozov v'enov v'ribis v'chadoyma v'yesh menes. He'll know the halachas, what to keep, what's mutter, what's asa. Let's just finish the siman. Base kodim she'elech l'beis hakneses. Very interesting halacha. Yuchel lechel pas Shacharis. A person has got to have pas Shacharis. Imuragil boy v'tov she'yargil boy. Make sure you have breakfast. Says the Mishnah Berurah, v'tov she'yargil boy, because the Gemara, because the Gemara says shmoinim u'shloisha minei chaloim tluim b'mara v'kulam pas b'melach v'kitin shamayim Shacharis mevat losan. There are 80 illnesses that a person could get, and the way to counter these 80 illnesses by having bread and salt and a jug of water in the morning. A person's got to look after himself so he can get rid of any potential illness. Now, some very interesting halachas. What does that mean? So first of all, in 29, he says, when it says pas, bread, lav dafka bread, it says pas abba kisnin. If you have mezonos, she'ein tzorech achilas pas hamuchiyavas b'rachas hamazon dafka. You don't need dafka bread, which requires b'rachas hamazon. Shenechsheves, even pas abba kisnin is considered pas in there. That's number one. Then he quotes the Eshel Avraham, that gam b'shtias coffee im cholov yesh malish lachilas pas Shacharis. That even having a coffee with milk, that could count as pas Shacharis. Why? Because cholov is nourishing, and therefore it could count as this. Okay, that's number one. Number two, in the footnote number 30, he says, what about salt? You've got to have salt with your bread in the morning. So he says, number 30, when you put salt in the dough, so you've got a bit of salt in the dough, so you have a cake, you have a mazonas, a cereal, there's a bit of salt in it. Number 31, he says, the water that is referred to is warm. You have a hot drink, a tea, a coffee, you fulfilled all of this. It's preferable to have it warm. And lastly, number 32, he quotes the Shevet HaLevi, it's not an Avarian. You don't have breakfast, you're not an Avarian, you haven't fulfilled this Gemara. There's not an absolute chiyuv to have this. It's Eitz HaTova, says Rav Vosna. So what have we seen in Siman Kuf Nun Hey? That a person has got to be Kovea Itim la Torah, and it's important to have breakfast.